Hey everyone, and welcome to Behind the Body.
Hello.
We are excited to talk to you today. I feel like I always say that, but we're always genuinely excited about our topics. But today we're going to talk about finding happiness. What makes you happy, and are you happy? Which I think is like somewhat of a general topic, but I think we're going to kind of narrow it down and break it down to how you and I think about this topic, because we do think about it and talk about it a lot.
Yeah, especially because we always say that we like to live life 8 to 10. That means we like to be happy. And definitely for us, happiness is a choice. And it's why we want to talk and maybe, give our opinion or view and open up a little bit your mind about this. Because I think everybody talk like, I'm not happy. How are you today? I'm okay. I hate that.
I am always great.
Amazing, wonderful,
Even
fantastic.
if I'm not, I fake it until I make it. I put it in the universe and hopefully it comes.
And also try it. It's the energy, You're already like, how are you? Oh, I'm okay. Why are you okay? And why you're not amazing?
I think people don't even consider if they're happy. And this is natural because life is so overwhelming. It's so demanding. We are pulled in a million different directions, and it's really hard, uncomfortable. We don't have time to sit down and think about, are we happy? And sometimes we don't even want to face the truth of that answer. And I have always been this way for as long as I can remember, checking in with myself, knowing that I go through life at an 8 out of 10 happiness. On an average, I am 8 out of 10 happy. And for me, I check in all the time. If I fall below that, which I have in the past, I evaluate. I get very nervous. Like, why am I here? What am I doing here? What's happening? Why is it that I feel this way? And what do I need to do?
And you definitely do, because actually when I met you 3 years ago, you were exactly on the place like, okay, I'm not happy. So what is going on with my life? And it's when you decide to change your whole life. It's the same for me. I was in Brazil. I was already 28 years old, almost 29. I had an amazing job, my own apartment, my car, my life is going on. I wasn't happy. And I didn't have the voice, the feeling that I want to come and live this experience. So I think now I can say I am happy because when I wasn't, I made the very hard change in my life. And why am I telling you that? Because if you wanna find right now a skills, you're gonna say like, come on, you are happy because you don't have 10 kids, or you are happy because you have a good job, or you're happy because you don't need to lose like 50 pounds. Everything in our life is our choice. If you have 10 kids, you choose that. So be happy with your kids. Find a way to look as like, I'm a mom of 10 kids and I'm happy. That doesn't mean you're not gonna have hard days. The time that you wanna just walk away, it's normal. But in your day that you have 24 hours, I'm asking you, how are you? And you, oh, I'm okay. Every day you choose that, because I remember the days that I was going through the hardest time in my life, making $10 per hour, and sometimes I couldn't buy food. It was so hard, but I was so happy. I look at the routes like, yeah, I may have no money to buy food, but I live in San Diego. I choose that. I couldn't go back home, because at the end of the day, we are the people who we choose every day to be. I'm not gonna be this strong woman if today I don't choose that and I go like and be a weak woman. No. Every time that I face a situation, I know the way that I'm gonna handle the situation is gonna be a piece of my future. And I choose myself, I choose be happy. So it's not that life is gonna be easy, but we can be, by the fact that you are alive right now and healthy, that is the most important thing in the world.
You can look at your life and be like, oh, you know what? I'm healthy. I have a healthy family, so things are okay. Is that enough to make people happy? Maybe, maybe not, right? Because again, I feel like life is so stressful, life is so demanding, and sometimes we're so used to going through the motions of normal life. You know, a lot of people don't have the experience that you have leaving Brazil, your comfortable job, your family, your friends, your whole life, realizing that you're not happy and moving to San Diego. I mean, that's, you know, you're moving from beautiful Brazil to like beautiful San Diego. So there's a lot to be happy about, but they don't have that stark contrast, you know, of like uprooting your life. People just a lot of times have these lives that are just day after day repetitive, going through the motions. And I think that's when it's really hard to like take the time and figure out, am I happy? But also, I think that that is for a lot of people a really scary activity to do, because if I ask myself, am I happy? If I'm thinking no, then what comes next is a hard talk with myself, a hard decision, a hard realization. And maybe some of that reason I'm not happy is because of myself. Maybe it's because of my partner. Maybe it's because of my job, whatever the case. But there comes hard discussions with yourself and hard decisions to be made, right? And so how do we become comfortable? Like, what's an activity that we can do, that we can work through, that allows us to be comfortable coming to the realization that we're not happy, understanding why we're not happy, and then creating an action plan to create happiness?
I think I can say about me. I think I'm so grateful for the little things that is very important thing, as the health, as my husband, you, and I practice that. So anything feels so little, any problem that I have, when I say like, okay, you have this problem, but thank God that I have the best husband, the best friends. I live my life on my dreams. So that kind of like make me strong enough to look, hey, but this I need to fix. So let's work.
Yeah.
You know, because again, when we're talking about happiness, including yourself, feel good, feel health. Why I wanna say, sometimes you are not happy because you have the strong pain on your back or on your knee, that instead to fix it, you push and you avoid to do things that start to make you unhappy.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the first thing that you said, though, because I think that this is a significant activity that somebody could do that really can change your entire outlook of the moment, of the situation, of the day, of your week, of your life. Okay. And that is to be grateful for what you have. And I think that that sounds like so remedial. It sounds pretty basic, you know, and it's like it's like almost like when somebody says, you know, give yourself positive affirmations and talk to yourself nicely, right? And then you'll start to believe it. Like, that kind for me, like, it kind of sounds a little silly. I'm like, I'm not going to talk to myself, but in reality, it does actually work. And I think that if you're listening to this podcast and you're asking yourself, like, am I happy? Like, how happy am I? I want you to think about this, because I do think that we do this activity with our husbands and it's effective. What do you think about if something, let's say, bad happens, or you wake up cranky? Are you automatically looking at the negative? Is that where your mind goes to initially? Because I do think that there's two types of people, ones that do look at things negatively, or ones who look at things optimistically. And I don't know if you're inherently born with one or the other, or if you just develop the skill sets to...
You practice.
Yeah, I think maybe that's true. I've had this positive outlook for as long as I can remember, but I'm sure it was maybe learned at some point. But my husband and I are very opposite. He will see a situation and automatically think of all the negatives, every single one of them. It drives me nuts. And I am the opposite. I look at something and I see all the positives. And the way that your mind shifts when you start to think about the positives over the negatives can translate into overall just this sense of happiness. As dumb as it sounds, it is so, so true.
And that is an exercise you just gonna feel when you do. I used to have anxieties, and every time that I was driving to work, I kind of had panic attacks sometimes, and I started to practice that. I
Most people would have
always
anxiety attacks because you're going to work. You actually had the anxiety for having to drive yourself to work.
actually no, my anxieties was about work, but
Oh, it was, okay.
I had one time driving, so that it scared me to drive again because who had
Oh, you had a panic attack, an anxiety attack when you were.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes
So
sense.
it's why
Oh,
I
okay.
know, yeah.
All right.
So, and when I started to do that, not only I stopped to be like scared about to drive again, at least for work, I just shift my mood. So it doesn't matter how tired I am. When I start to say aloud on my ways, like thank God for another day of life, for being healthy, for wake up with my husband, is in your heart,
Mhm.
and you start to feel the energy that now it's already has a lot of study about it, how pray helps you like your brain.
Prayer.
Yeah, prayer. So for me helps a lot. And if you say like, I don't care about it, close your eyes right now and thinking about if tomorrow you wake up without the things that you didn't say today that you are thankful for, how it's gonna be your life without your husband, your friends, your parents, your kids, your job. What's gonna be you? We need to be realistic. I don't like veggies, but I need to eat veggies because it's healthy, you know? I love what I do. My job is my passion, but I don't like to work 10 hours a day because at the end of the day, I'm gonna be exhausted. But that doesn't mean I'm not happy. I'm so thankful and happy for God to give it to me, everything that I have. Because one day all this was a very far dream that I had. And now it's my reality. I think we need to stop to fantasize like too much. What is happiness? Happiness is a be health. Because you can be rich, you can have all the money of the world. If you get sick, you have nothing. Second, what are you doing for your health that make you have more energy? Because the other thing, if you don't feel good, you're not gonna feel happy, and that includes your habits. When we talk about fitness and cardio and patches and new plan and the lift weight, it's not only the physical actually as the share in the
We wouldn't have as strong of a passion for health and fitness if it was only aesthetic.
for sure.
It is the feeling that drives us.
When you sleep good, when your body's hydrated, when you have not only the macros but the micros.
And when you feel confident, when you feel like you are doing everything that you can for yourself.
And when you look and you see you are creating the person who you want to be. Because it's that. Every action, every choice, every decision, it's who you're going to be after that. You know? Because everything affected. When you're trying to please everybody and you forget about yourself, that's going to affect your happiness.
And I also think that one of the activities that I see people who may not be super happy do is compare themselves to other people and speak poorly about other people. These are two areas when you are not happy with, maybe speaking of health and fitness, where you are physically, you're not as eating as well, you're not maybe sleeping as well, you're just not taking care of like your basic, needs. You start to like look at other people and compare yourself to those people. And that could translate into be like, you see an attractive woman, you start to like sort of pick her apart. But that definitely aligns with somebody who is not very happy on the inside. And that's why you hear all the time, like, especially on the internet, right? If somebody's like just mean commenting or whatever, it's like, you look at that person, or you're not looking at the person because they're online, but you're thinking to yourself like, oh, that person must not be happy because why are they commenting on some random person's post negatively, right? But that's because they're just not happy. And when you start to take care of yourself and you start to look optimistically at life, when you start to think about the things you're grateful for, when you start to take care of yourself, You
I have no time.
You don't care. You see another beautiful woman and you're like, good for her. She is on the same bus I'm on.
I love it. I can't see a beautiful woman without to say like, you look great.
I love it. Seeing a beautiful woman, seeing somebody who is living their best life empowers me. I'm like, we need more women like this.
Because it's not easier for her. It's not like because she doesn't have what to do. It's because instead to be sitting on the sofa, looking the Instagram or talking bad about people, this person, this woman, whatever it is doing the best of her life.
She's got it figured out, which is really hard to do. And I think that's why I admire it so much. Like, she found the drive, the discipline, and developed the habits to get to this place where she looks amazing. And I'm like, God, good for you, because that's really hard for people to do.
I had my best body many times. And this Anna who I am right now is a very busy entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur? Forget that word. You're never going to be able to say it.
But she said it right. And I'm not only a personal trainer, coach, I have other business going on and I work a lot. So my new me had not all the time that I had before, or that I prioritized to my fitness when I was competing. Not that I had more time back the days, but that was my priority, and that was my life, and that was the part of my life that I was giving my 100%. Now I would say that I'm creating this new Anna that is looking forward to have more time for myself. But at the same, I know I'm still growing on my professional, my career, so I cannot just don't give attention the way that I do and look to myself in a little bit more selfish mode. But what I want to say is I am happy. I'm happy where I am right now. I know where I want to be in the both area of my life. But I'm happy that I finally look to myself and be nice. I'm 39 years old. I work 8 to 10 hours every day. Even on the weekend, I still have some work to do. And I should be a friend, be a wife, and be happy.
One of the things that is similar between you and me, based on finding happiness around our careers, is that we are not driven by money. Money doesn't make us happy. And so you just gave an example of how you were killing yourself working 10-hour days, 6 days a week. You were literally just no time for yourself, no time for anything. And you assessed, reevaluated, and told yourself, I'm going to scale back, make less money, but refocus my energy on myself, which ultimately has made you more money in the long run. And for myself, for many of you who have been following this podcast may know this, but I had a 17-year career with Johnson & Johnson, and I was doing very well, and I was just not happy. I wasn't stimulated. I was not happy. There's no better way to put it. And I lived like that for a long time before I realized, but before I finally said, this is up to me, enough complaining about it, do something about it, and I quit my job. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, I can't quit my job because, the money. Well, we're not millionaires. And I mean, there was some planning associated with it, but we definitely tightened the belt. We definitely stopped spending and didn't go on a lot of trips and, ate at home and didn't go out to eat. I mean, we tightened the belt because to me, not working a job that was unfulfilling for me was much greater in terms of my happiness than the money I was making. And now, of course, as an entrepreneur, I'm barely making money to try to even get up to a place where it's comfortable. But I am so freaking happy every single day. Every morning I wake up thinking how grateful I am to have been strong enough to make the decision to leave my job and to be brave enough to make the decision to pursue my passion and to be patient enough to figure it out. I think money, while we need it, of course, to live, absolutely does not bring happiness. It does bring freedom. It does bring a level of comfort. So I'm not saying
I love money. Don't get us wrong. We're very
we love it,
expensive.
right? We love it. And we like nice things and we like to do all the things
And
that
we
are
deserve because we do work hard. But
Yeah.
you're right. I agree. Our happiness is priceless. Instead to have a nice bag, live the life that you love. It's the best. Took me 8 years. 8 years cleaning house and like watching myself because my entire life was like that. And then when I started, hey, ooh, so like really, if I know that I didn't need to go to college, for example, but everything that happened was important to me be exactly where I am. So we already talked a lot about this. When you're happy, you make things happen. Then I'm not gonna say like, okay, so leave your job, gonna live like homeless at the beach. It's not that. Make a plan. Figure it out first where it is. I don't feel happy because it's hard. I don't feel healthy. Go to a doctor. Check your health.
I think the point is like take action.
Take an action.
Take action. You actually had a really good Instagram post recently about taking action. Talking about it isn't going to do anything. Being unhappy or miserable is certainly not going to do anything about it. We have one life to live. God willing, it is a long one, but taking action in your life, taking control and moving the needle forward is what's going to bring you happiness.
But stop to blame people. I'm not happy because my husband, my kids, or because my job. No, you are not happy because you don't want to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's too hard to face a few situations or even to stop and look yourself like, oh, okay, yeah, I like that, but that definitely doesn't make me happy. And that is the environment, the friends, the job, your lifestyle. It's something that you are on control. Remember that because we always like try to achieve like, oh, I want to lose weight because I'm gonna be happy. That is not true. It's depend the way that you're gonna make to lose the weight. You're gonna be miserable instead to be happy, and then you're gonna start to look to the middle. It's never gonna be enough, my dear. Happiness is a choice, and it's a every day. So you're gonna have the day that's gonna be harder, but not harder enough to you look back and say like I'm not a happy person. Why? Because when you're grateful, you're gonna see that even you had a hard day, you still have so many things and reasons to be happy, to be thankful, and to smile.
And it's so true. And I'm thinking about like even every time I'm super annoyed with my husband, like I could be so annoyed and be like, don't talk to me and like leave in the other room because I don't want to see his face. I'll go in the other room and be like, I'm so grateful for him though. I'm so grateful that he's here with me in this house and I get to go to bed, sleep in the same bed with him tonight, like even though I hate his face at that moment, like that's the way my brain thinks, like I'm just so appreciative for like these things that I have.
It's everything the way that you look for.
But in terms of relationships too, like we have not always been in a good place. And I live my life an 8 out of 10. I expect the same from my relationship in my marriage. So if my marriage is not an 8 out of 10 on average, and sometimes it's not.
Just sit and talk.
I know. I really, because that's unacceptable to me. Like I don't need a roommate. I don't need another friend, although I love him. He's my best friend, but like, I don't need a father of my children. I need a partner, a husband who is going to be there to be an additional fulfillment to my life. He doesn't need to fulfill my life. That's my job, but he needs to bring value as a partner. And I assess if I'm not happy, an 8 out of 10, it's dipping below that. We have a talk.
Yeah.
I don't accept that.
Yeah. And it's the way that should be. And again, I think we want to talk about this so much because we just realized that people are talking always about, oh, I'm happy, I'm not happy. What is be happy for you?
And I think it's good to ask yourself that question. Am I happy? What does happiness mean to me? If I'm not happy, what are the areas in my life that I am unhappy with? And then think about, what do I have control of?
Yes.
What could I do? Even if you don't take action, even if it's just an activity that you think about in your mind or you write on paper, what do you have control over that you can change? And I don't care if it's super like hard quitting your job and figuring it out like me. I mean, that was a big ass decision that took me a couple years to like really come to terms with. So it's not to say that you have to take action immediately. Sometimes it takes a while, especially with something monumental that it could impact many areas of your life. But you have so much control over your own happiness that in one way, it's very scary, right? But in another way, it's so liberating. You know, I think that's what I like love so much about like taking control of my life is like, that's my fucking job. Like I got fucking control over that. Like, great. Let me put that to use, you know, let me do something with that rather than just stay in the state of like misery, unhappiness, unfulfillment, or whatever.
It is very, very important in all these. We always take responsibility as well because, you know, we are there, we are like looking, okay, so I need to change this. That is also, even for example, when we are talking about relationship, we always go and sit, but we also look ourselves and it's like, what do I can do better?
Yes.
Because again, and you said very good way, we don't get married for our husband make us happy. We make ourselves happy. Okay? Of course, we're gonna live happy moments together. But I just see so many people in general, men and women, like just like, okay, we got married, so here's my life, make me happy. It's not that. Halfway is mine, halfway is yours. We're gonna meet in the middle and we're gonna build an amazing moments together. They're gonna meet. I'm gonna have my moment. I'm gonna have our moment. You're gonna have your moment. So again, I think every time, and it's funny because it's at the end we always go to the same place. Is the self talk in anything in life. You know, even if you go to a therapist, it's still process every day. So like, oh, I feel a little bit negative. So okay, let's sit a little bit and close my eyes and remember and say aloud everything that I have that I'm very thankful for. Oh, but I don't know what I have that I'm thankful for. Okay, thinking about you're gonna wake up tomorrow, you're not gonna have any more. Everybody gonna be done. You know, you're gonna lose your job. Or no, we do have. So I hope today we could like send a message about what we thinking about happiness because it's simple than we think. You're like, oh, I'm happy now, I'm gonna be happy forever. No, tomorrow you're gonna need to wake up and make decisions, take actions, and have a happy day. And even if you have a hard day, remember, at the end of the day, you still have things to be thankful. And that's okay if one day you feel unhappy at all. It's gonna have situations that, yeah. So keep your tears for those days. It's what I remember myself. Because when you lose like someone important, it's gonna be a day to cry. You know, when something happened that you have no control about it, maybe you're gonna cry. But with the little things that you feel annoyed, and at the end of the day you like get everything together, it's like, oh, my life is terrible. No. If your life is terrible, it's because you are not doing the basic things for yourself.
To wrap up, I have two little like pieces of advice that I think could help the overall happiness. The first one is, do not start your day with social media. I think a lot of people, including myself on occasions, my husband, friends, the first thing that we do when we wake up in the morning after we brush our teeth, or maybe even not, we grab our phones and we scroll on social media. And that like seeing other people and like it just produces this loop in your mind or sets your brain on things that other people are doing. It's irrelevant. If you wake up and you look at social media automatically, your brain is already triggered to compare subconsciously or not. It's just looking at other people, and that's how you're starting your day. I have found when I stopped looking at social media in the morning, which I've now probably, it's been like, I don't know, a year, I wait like at least till I'm like having breakfast or even later. my whole mood for that day is now completely dependent upon my own self and my own thoughts. It has nothing to do with the external environment, which sounds weird, but it actually does play a huge role. So if you want to challenge yourself, if you're somebody who looks at social media first thing in the morning, give yourself a few days, like 3 days or 5 days, and without looking at social media in the morning, and see how your day, how your mood, how your thought process will change. The second thing is that when you are thinking of things you're grateful for, and I do this particularly like with people, like if I'm thinking about how grateful I am for your friendship or like anything for you, I'll text you. Same thing for my sister. If I like thinking my sister is an amazing sister, and if I'm like thinking about something she did, I will text her and be like, "You're the greatest sister, and I just want you to know I love you so much." Or if my husband like did something really nice, like supported me in some way, I will tell him, "It means so much to me that you supported me. Thank you for going above and beyond. I'm so lucky to have you in my life." And just putting that energy out in the world and actually saying it is like, it just gives you like the serotonin in your brain. It just gives you the mood of like, God, I'm really so blessed. And then you let the other person that you love know the impact that they play in your life and your happiness. And I think those are just like 2 good things to practice. I think that could like just shift your mind, even on your worst days and your worst moods.
I love that, and I love when you send the message. That always make my day better, always. And yeah, you are amazing.
Thank you. You are too. That's why I send you so many, because I'm like, I love you so much. We want to create an environment of empowered women to be their best, to feel their best. And life is not perfect. Nothing is perfect. So by all means, I'm bitchy and cry to Anna all the time. Like, we're not perfect. We're not sitting here saying like, "Oh, be like us.
Yeah.
We're so happy." Absolutely not. But we hope that what we share could help you think of things differently and assess your life in a way where you can make some positive changes.
I hope right now if you never thought about your happiness, thinking about it.
Mhm.
Make this exercise. Our brain is so like strong. We just need to work. So it's an exercise. Be positive is an exercise. Every day when you see things inside like to go on the automatically, just like that's okay. Has that as a positive of the situation.
Yeah.
And I hope you're gonna be happier tomorrow.
Thank you all for listening. Tune in next time on Behind the Body. Oh, and if you like this episode, please like, subscribe, share with a friend or anybody in your life that you think could hear this message that would benefit from it. And yeah, follow us on Instagram at Behind the Bod. And we will talk to you next time on Behind the Body.
Bye.
Bye.